Hi, I'm Michelle Techler and I'm the Teen Services Manager at Cary Library. I'm coming to you via video for a couple of reasons. First of all, congratulations on your upcoming graduation from elementary school. In just a few weeks, you will be rising sixth graders, and as sixth graders, your home in the library will now be the teen room. Of course, this summer, the physical teen room is still closed because of the ongoing construction of the library, but it will be open later this fall, and it will be a space that you can utilize when you're at the library. When the room is open, there will be games and puzzles and activities for you to explore. And as always, we'll have plenty of programs, book clubs, cooking classes, crafting classes, drawing classes, Dungeons and Dragons, and more that you can participate in. But even before we reopen, we will have teen activities, both virtual and outdoors, that you as rising sixth graders are welcome to register for. Watch the events calendar on our website for more information about teen programs that might be right for you. I also wanted to mention to you that this summer, we have set a community-wide goal of reading 3,000 hours. Beginning on June 14th, you can set your own goal towards this community-wide summer reading challenge. If you read 20 minutes a day, you will have read more than 25 hours by August 30th. Or if you read an hour and a half a day, you'll have read more than 115 hours by August 30th. Think about what makes sense for you. Set your goal anywhere in between or beyond. You may track your progress on Beanstack or download a paper reading log to track it offline, but the reading must be logged into Beanstack to contribute to our community goal. If you are new to Beanstack, you can find information about this tracking tool on our website. Lastly, I wanted to tell you about a few good books that might be just right for you. I'm sending your librarians this flyer, which lists 10 excellent choices for rising sixth graders. And today I wanted to highlight a few of them. The first one I want to highlight is Plain Jane by Vera Brosgau. Plain Jane and the Mermaid. Jane has a few problems. She has been told all her life that she is fat and unattractive. When her very shallow parents suddenly die, a nasty cousin who is the only male heir in her family arrives with plans to kick her out of her home. Unless she is married, out she goes. Jane approaches her long-time but distant crush, the handsome, vapid, and extremely vain Peter, and suggests that they marry so that she can keep her home and he can live a life of luxury. Peter agrees, but then is captured by the beautiful but wicked mermaid. Jane decides to dive into the ocean to save him. In the process, she learns more about who she is and how she needs to shed others' expectations of what beauty is. This is a lively and colorful graphic novel that tells the story of heroism and friendship and self-acceptance. If you're a fan of graphic novels that are funny but also have a strong message, you might like Plain Jane and the Mermaid. The next book I have for you is We Are Not Alone by Katrin Bury. In this, we have 13-year-old Sam, who is in remission for Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a type of cancer. His best friend Oscar has recently died from brain cancer. Sam has returned to school, but coming back is much harder than he thought it would be. At first, he's dreading being paired for a project with Kat, who's a super popular girl at school. But he discovers they have a shared obsession with UFOs, which is something he shared with Oscar. Sam is initially very reluctant to open up to Kat, but when he has a serious health scare, he is forced to be more honest with her about his life. This contemporary realistic fiction explores friendship and trust with humor. It's a very dear story. That's We Are Not Alone. The next book I wanted to share was Not Nothing by Gail Forman. And Gail Forman has written several books for tweens and teens. In Not Nothing, 12-year-old Alex is really struggling. His mother has mental health issues and she has been out of the picture for a little while. He is filled with rage and self-loathing, even though he misses her terribly. And he has had to move in with his very unwelcoming aunt and uncle. Then following his arrest after an undescribed horrible incident, which you don't learn about the details of until much later in the book, but he is court-ordered to volunteer at a local nursing home. At first, he is disgusted by the experience of working there and the elderly, but eventually he becomes part of the nursing home family and he develops some friends, particularly a 107-year-old Polish Holocaust survivor, Josie. Josie shares the story of parts of his life, and through this sharing, we are reminded that we are better than the worst things that we have ever done. This was one of my favorite recently read books. I loved how it is both a tale of historical fiction and contemporary fiction. It is very tender and very realistic. So that's Not Nothing by Gail Forman. Who Owns the Moon and Other Conundrums of Exploring and Using Space by Cynthia Levinson and Jennifer Swanson is a nonfiction book that looks at the past, the present, and the future of space travel. The authors connect the historical and political timelines with information about scientific advances to show how the combination resulted in our initial travel to the moon. They then link this history with the current Artemis project, NASA's plans for returning to the moon after 50 years. I really enjoyed the pictures and the sidebars and diagrams and just additional information supporting the text. Additionally, there's a lot of really great supplemental information at the back of the book. Information on and resources such as books, films, podcasts, places to visit, and websites to explore if you're interested in further study about travel to the moon. I think if you're a science nerd, but also if you're a history buff, you might enjoy Who Owns the Moon. And then the last book I brought is also nonfiction, and that is The Swans of Harlem by Karen Velby, and this is adapted for young audiences. This nonfiction book tells the story of 5 trailblazing Black women: Lydia Abarco, Marcia Sells, Gail McKinney Griffith, and Carlia Shelton and Sheila Rohan. And the 5 of them were early members of the Dance Theater of Harlem. Each came to the troupe from very different backgrounds, but all 5 faced colorism, racism, fat phobia, and sexism as they pursued their dream of dance in an art form that was dominated by white dancers. Dancers, especially fans of Misty Copeland, will enjoy this collective biography, but I also think that readers interested in forgotten histories, like stories about people who made a difference but whose stories have gotten lost over the years, might enjoy The Swans of Harlem. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful and relaxing summer, and welcome to the Teen Room.